Hello everyone. Today we're gonna be getting back on some more Trails in the Sky. I'm, as usual, excited because we're at the point where story picks the fuck up. And I am hyped. Because yeah, this is where the entire series gets real fucking good. Like last chapter was really good. It's one of my favorites, but it was still pretty slow. And here's where everything fucking goes. So I'm excited. Yeah, not much more to say about that. So yeah, anyways, hi everyone, how are you doing? I'm gonna go ahead and boot up the game. I've been really enjoying playing through this again. I'm glad I decided to, because yeah, it's just been a good experience. Okay, let me plug in my controller, so I forgot to do that. I'm digging it. Okay, recent, where is it? Trails in the Sky. Boop. Play game. Play. And boot. And capture. There we go. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and load on up, and we'll get on in. I don't know. I don't remember if there's any Bracer Guild quests that we need to do. Let me double check real quick. Damn, what is this? Let's see. Okay. It was a long ass message, but it's not something important, so that's good. Okay. Let me also pull up the guide real quick because I forgot to do that. Should only take a sec. Want to be sure we're not missing anything. Sky FC guide, chapter 3. Okay, anything before I leave to keep in mind? Let's see. I don't think there is. I think we should be fine. Issue 6. There is one person we need to talk to get chapter 6 of Carnelia. Okay. Glad I checked. But aside from that, it looks like we're good. Alright. Yeah, let's go head over there real quick. And then after that, we should be good to go. Go. Alright. Someone in the clubhouse at Genus. So let's go check that out. I'm not gonna worry about talking to everyone right now. It's a girl in the clubhouse. Is it you? Yeah. Let's see, maybe around here? I'm looking around for stuff to help me with the novel I'm writing. All the books I've been reading lately have really inspired me to write something of my own. Here, take a look at this one. I found it particularly moving. Yeah. Reading is food for the brain. True. That is words. Alright, let's go. We got the chapter. So let me see what I always forget what ones we have already. Yes, so we're missing chapter 8. So that's the one we gotta be very sure that we don't miss. Is chapter 8. But aside from that, we should be pretty good to go. Alright, off we go to Airleton, and we'll head on over to Zeiss. I also still have that fishing rod we borrowed from the bar. We can't leave it without returning it. Oh, true. Oh, we borrowed it from the bar in the harbor, right? Oh, the Aqua Rossa? Yes. I didn't even think about that. Joshua's thinking like 3 steps ahead. Okay, this guy. Return fishing rod. Ah, thank you. So did the goddess smile upon your rod today? Just let me know if you get hungry. I'll cook you the best meal you've ever had. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Okay, now we can go. I've been here before, but this is a nice little spot. The view here is breathtaking. Certainly doesn't feel like a checkpoint, that's for sure. Actually, I heard that a lot of visitors often come here to see the waterfall. Really? Rowan sure has a lot of nice places, huh? You can understand why the Duke would want to live here. Agreed. But I think Roland is also a nice, relaxing place to live. Oh, you've been to Roland? Yes, I've been to all 5 of the great cities. Oh, that's right. Zeiss is up ahead. You'll be surprised how charming it is. Really? Sounds like we're in for some fun. Alright, why don't we get started on the paperwork then? Okay, let's go. I'll get set up at the counter. Alright. Good afternoon. How may I be of assistance? We're wondering what had to be done to obtain permission to enter Zeiss. Oh, okay then. Step right up. I'll take care of you. Be aware, though, that once these procedures have begun, you will not be allowed to leave the checkpoint. Are you okay with that? Yes, we are. Yeah, go ahead, please. And start by signing these documents. Stella and Joshua sign their names to the documents. Alright, everything looks to be in order. Is the young lady there not joining you? Oh, I only came to see them off. Ah, very well then. You'll be able to accompany them as far as the mouth of the Caldia Tunnel. Thank you very much. What's the Caldia Tunnel? It's the main road that joins this checkpoint to Zeiss. The path is a long tunnel that passes directly through Caldia Hill. Wow, an underground road. That'll definitely be a first for me too. Wow, this is amazing. I see. Huh, so the waterfall comes from a man-made river. I think it's called the Lotz Waterway. It was made a very long time ago. Yes, and it's linked directly to the Valeria Lakeshore. Pretty impressive given that they did it without any ordnance to help. So, what's that over there? That's the tunnel. That's the entrance to the tunnel, I think. Yeah? So, I guess this is goodbye. Yes. So you're gonna be traveling around the kingdom, right? Might be able to meet again in Gransel. Really? I'll be going back there when the Queen's birthday celebration starts. Some of my relatives will be there, so I have to join them. That's just a month away, isn't it? I think we may actually be in Gransel around that time. So then, once you're done with your family stuff, contact the Gransel Guild branch. If you do, we can try and meet up. I certainly will. Estelle and Joshua, I can't thank you enough. I won't ever forget everything that you've done for me. Come on, don't be so formal. We're in your debt as well, for many reasons. I'd say we're pretty even. What a thing to say. When we confronted the mayor, I said some terrible things. You care for no one but yourself. But I was no different. Huh? I've been running away from the reality of my own situation for a while now. To the orphanage and to the academy. But the two of you taught me something. You helped me find the courage to hold my head high. And to find the strength to protect what matters. Because of you, I know how to be brave. I really don't get it. But if we were able to help you, I'm happy. Oh. Cheer up, okay? We'll see each other again in Gransel. Yes, absolutely. Scream! Huh, and maybe we'll get to see Sieg there too, right? Scream! Good boy. That was a joke. I mean, Gransel's pretty far away. I don't think those wings would hold. Besides, your home is here. Scree? Sieg isn't just any bird, you know. I think he'll be there. I'm sure. Sieg's just full of surprises, isn't he? Well then, shall we be off? Yeah. Hey, good luck to both of you on your journey. And I'll be praying for you to find your father. Scree! Thank you. You two take care. Scree? Yes, I think so too. We'll see them again. Sorry to keep you waiting, Chloe. Miss Julia, you're done with your duties at Leoston Fortress? Yes, it took longer than I had anticipated. Pardon my rudeness, but I've come to get your report on the incident. Thank you for your service. Scree! Hey now, settle down, Sieg. Have you been fulfilling your duty as escort? Scree! He's always been very helpful. Isn't that right, Sieg? Scree! He's certainly chipper. The Arcellus stopped at the end of the highway. You're to report in there. Understood. I'll be leaving school for a while. I need to say goodbye to my teachers before returning to Gransel. Estelle, Joshua, I'll take what you taught me and show you that I can be strong. Stronger than even you two. I'll do everything in my power to see to that. What's wrong? Nothing. I just got the feeling that someone was coming. Huh? There's someone in here other than us? Guess not. Yeah. Sorry, I must have imagined it. Oh, I get it. Heh, I think you still got a little crush on Chloe. Huh? What makes you say that? Oh, don't be shy. You know I can read you like a book. It's not unreasonable after all. You did, kiss her during the play. What if she asked you to come back? You'd say yes, right? I guess you didn't notice then. Huh? Notice what? The last scene. That was just for show, you know. It was staged so it would look like a real kiss for the audience. What? You really can be completely clueless sometimes. It was written right there in the script notes. Oh, I see. Note to self, do not insert foot into mouth. Why do I feel so relieved? Estelle? You okay? I'm fine. Come on, Zeiss awaits. Okay, let me see. Let me check for chests. Chest is empty, like your thieving heart. True. I got an empty heart, that's for damn sure. Chest is empty because you removed the contents, you looter. Damn. Chest just be insulting me now. Nope, still empty. Alright. Appreciate it. Reduced to searching empty chests. That's really sad. Yeah. It is sad, just like the rest of my life. Oh no. Alright, let's keep going. Hooray for self-deprecating humor. Alright. Ah yes, this goes to Limestone Cave. Actually, I don't know if there's any reason to go in there right now. Just as empty because you've already been here. Let me double check. Claudia Tunnel. looks like we should be good for now. To just move forward. So let's go. So we'll be coming back down here for requests. I've gotta hurry. Huh? Someone's coming this way. Oh! Good afternoon. Where's the fire? Good afternoon. Are you talking about this road? Are you taking this road too? Well, yeah. Have you seen any lights that weren't working? The lights along the tunnel wall, I mean. Sorry if there are any, I haven't noticed any. All the lights we passed were still on, but we did pass one that was flickering. There's 2 rivers between it and here. That's it! It's just like I thought. Sorry, I have to hurry. I wonder if she's from Zeiss. Strange little kid. She seemed awfully flustered. Now I'm kind of worried. Hey, you want to try following her? You read my mind. Don't like the idea of a little girl wandering around by herself. You should catch up to her and stick close. Okay, come on, let's hurry. Whee! We gotta get there. We must protect this angel at all costs. I can't believe there are so many of them. It's gonna break at this rate. Maybe this... Bearing set. Angle of elevation, 20 degrees. Orbital compression at 30%. Go! If you come any closer, then I won't miss next time. I mean it. Oops, I think that might have made them angrier. Yeah! Huh? Hey, I remember you. Can talk later. Get back. We gotta get rid of these things first. Actually, I'll just do this. Just give them a big ol' smack. Wow, it missed. Feels bad. That was scary. Thank you very much. I thought I was a goner for sure. Well, the important thing is that you're safe. But you really should be more careful. Stirring up monsters is a surefire way to get yourself eaten. But if I had left them alone, they probably would have broken that light. Speaking of which, why would those things go after the lights anyway? Don't they do the same thing when the highway lights are switched out? The septium in those circuits is the monster's favorite food. The highway lights work to keep monsters away, but when they stop working, they have the exact opposite effect. Ah, I get it. Still, you shouldn't mess around with stuff like that. Yo, what up, Harlock? Septium might be their favorite food, but little girls could probably rank a close second. Oh, sorry. Go easy there. Giving her nightmares and saying don't do that isn't exactly going to score you any points. Oh, don't be such a wet blanket. I'm doing pretty decent. Tired. That's also partially due to me just not getting a lot of sleep last night because I'm fucking stupid, but I'm chilling. How about yourself? Anyway, my name's Estelle, and I'm Joshua. We're bracers affiliated with the guild. Oh, so that's why you're so tough. I'm Tita. I work as an apprentice at the central factory. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I need to check that out still. Let me fucking make a reminder to myself. Let me actually just add a reminder into my phone for after stream. Because otherwise I will forget again. Let me see. Space. I'm just gonna put space and then set it. Do it for like... Then, alright, that works. Paste the music, the battle music. Yeah, I listened to the little snippet you sent me yesterday, and that was pretty good. And yeah, I gotta do my fucking taxes still. Well, actually, I guess I can't technically do them completely because I'm still waiting on Twitch to give me that form. But aside from that, yeah. Anyways, well then, Tita. We're heading to Zeiss, so do you want to join us for the rest of the way? That's right. You don't want to be around here if the monsters show up again. Really? Thank you. Would you mind waiting for a little bit? I've got to get that light fixed. Yeah, it's probably risky to leave it like that. How in the world did you know it had burned out, though? Well, I was lucky enough to notice the problem when I was looking at the computer database. It seems like a defective unit was installed here by mistake. All goes well, you getting... Ooh, hell yeah. That's super good. I have no clue how much I'll be getting. Probably more than I have any other year, all things considered. Because I think this is the first year that I've actually worked full-time for the entire year. Yeah, actually. That's wild. Anyways, yeah. So that's sick. Alright. It's a good thing you caught it when you did. Computer? Database? Okay, that should do it. Sorry it took so long. Wow, color me impressed. Well, she's an apprentice at the central factory. She has to be good. Well, I didn't do anything special. I just fixed that quartz connection and adjusted the orbital pressure. Huh? Well, it sure sounds special. It's not that big a deal. Okay, how do I explain this? Each orbment has a quartz crystal, quartz circuit inside, and if it isn't properly connected, the orbital energy inside the unit will have nowhere to go, and as a result, the orbment won't be able to function properly. This happens sometimes with the highway lights, which means their ability to give out light and ward off monsters is compromised. So stop! Maybe you should save the explanation for after we get on the road. I mean, if we stand around too long, the monsters, you know. Yeah, I guess so. I was just warming up, too. Whew. Well, why don't we set up for Zeiss then? Okay. Yes, sir. Protect this angel at all costs. We do not let any harm come to Tita. No matter what. Alright. Let's get on down there. Oh! The tunnel ends here. So does that mean this is the entrance to Zeiss? That's right. It leads right into the basement of the central factory. I'm excited to see it. Central Factory is the pride and joy of Zeiss since it's an industrial city. I'd heard it was big, but that's about all I really know. Well, yeah, it's really huge. Anyone who's not used to the layout could get lost in a hurry. Ugh, there's a creepy thought. Patch notes from tonight's 14 update. Oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing. I guess that's a good thing that I didn't end up playing 14 tonight, now that I think about it, because I forgot that there was maintenance happening. I was debating between playing this or 14, and literally the only thing that decided it is I pressed shuffle on my music on the way home, and a song from this game came on, so I was like, okay, I'll take that as a sign. So apparently that was a good sign. Anyways. I'm beginning to worry whether or not we'll really be able to make it to the guild. The way out of the city is up on the first floor. I'll show you how to get there. Thanks. Well, let's go in. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I need to find when I want to start that. Because it'll probably be a thing. Just on a day that I don't want to stream. But I might stream tomorrow. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's just go on out. Also, fucking this song. Another fucking banger. So good. Whoa, what is this place? It's just nice and chill. And I dig it. Wow, it looks like almost the entire factory is completely automated. Hey, below the city, there are lots of orbment factories. They make everything from lights to airship parts. That's awesome. A little overwhelming, but awesome. Can we talk to anyone down here? Hey, Faye. I wonder what he's doing right now. Okay, enough of that. Yeah, get your head in the job, girl. fucking speaks to the quality of these games that I just saw a random NPC out and I knew who they were. Like, they don't have any story significance, they're just a character. And I remember them. They're just a random NPC. Okay, what's this room? This is the elevator. It can take us from the basement to the roof. Can't say I've ever seen one of these outside the mines. This one seems super high-tech. Well, this is Zeiss. And since this is the central factory, I'm sure they have quite a few of these. They have more than one? It's the latest model, too. Maximum weight capacity, 50 torm. Can handle even heavy industrial equipment with no problem. I don't entirely get it, but it sure sounds impressive. So, how do we get it to move? Oh, you just pick which floor you want on that panel. Let's see, you want to get into the city, right? Yes, can you take us up to the first floor? Okay. Whoa! Whoa, check out the size of this place. This is the central factory's main floor. It's where the reception desk and consumer maintenance windows are. I see, so we can get out to town from here. Oh, Tita. Miss Hazel? There you are. Supervisor Travis has been looking for you. He'd like for you to go straight to the operations room. Oh, okay, I will. Uh-oh, sounds urgent. Thank you for showing us around. It's no big deal. It's the least I can do after you beat up those monsters for me. Well, we're planning to be in Zeiss for a little while. Would you mind if we stop by to see you again? I'd love that. Bye-bye then. Protect this child. Ah. What a sweet kid. I get the impression she's a lot tougher than she looks. I agree. I've always wanted a sweet, lovable little sister like her. Instead of, might I add, an obnoxious little brother. You keep saying things like that, but you're the one who's always following me around. If you want to be more like a real older sister, you need to get your head out of the clouds every now and then. Pfft, look who's talking. Anyway, all sibling rivalries aside, want to head into the city? Yeah, first I'd like to switch assignments at the guild. Plus we can see if there's any new information on that Orgman or Dad. Sounds like a plan. Alright, let me double check there's no new quartz I can make. Because I think I have all of them so far. No, I don't have a confuse. Or a shield too. Aside from that, we should be good. I'm wondering what quartz we're missing then. Let me see. Or how many quartz, rather. Let me see. What does it even say there? I have to go to, like, a fucking normal Steam. No, I can't even do that. Okay, maybe I can't check right now. I hate big picture mode, but I have to use it for this game. Which kind of sucks, honestly. What you got? Just a bunch of stuff. Okay. How about you? I'll take that. Mother, there are enough flowers on the Verdana. Oh, look at these flowers. I'd love to plant these on the Verdana, but I'm afraid the colors might clash. I read those out of order, but that's fine. Whoa, what's this? That's an escalator and stuff. Some kind of moving staircase? It is a really long climb, so I guess it would be tough without it. Yeah, but to have the whole thing moving underneath you? This place has been full of surprises ever since we got here. No kidding. We going chill. Be vibing. Alright. That's incredible. Staircase that moves. Yep. Indeed. Okay. Is there anything in here? Come on in. Welcome to Bell Station. We're the only store that carries everything from food to everyday goods. Anything else? I don't think so. Okay. Hi there. Pardon us. See you were finally here, I see. Estelle, Joshua, welcome to Zeiss. Huh? You know us? I've already been briefed on your arrival from one Jean at the Rouen branch. A girl with chestnut hair tied in twin ponytails and a boy with black hair and amber eyes. That is you, is it not? Okay. My name is Kalika. Zeiss welcomes your service. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Oh, same here. The pleasure is ours. I know you've only just arrived, but I'd like you to proceed with the formalities of changing your affiliation. If you'll just sign these documents. Okay. Estelle and Joshua sign the assignment change forms. I should do it. You are both now affiliates of the Zeiss Regional Guild. There are no urgent matters that must be seen to currently. You're free to check out the bulletin board and work at your own pace. That's kind of disappointing, but hey, a little peace and quiet can be a good thing. Alright, I had a question to ask. About Cassius, correct? She can read minds! Did Jean tell you about him too? The whole sordid matter. I'm sorry to say that Cassius is not currently in the Zeiss region. He only stops in every few months or so. Figures. That just leaves Grancel, or maybe... I believe I might be able to provide you with a lead on another matter. Please, take this. Received attention factory chief. What's this? It's a letter of introduction to the head of the central factory, one Mr. Murdoch. He's basically like the mayor of the Zeiss region. Is this in regards to the matter of the Black Ornament? Stories of the mayor's residence painted as a very mysterious item. I suggest that you consult with the factory chief and see what he has to say. Wow, you really got this all planned out. Do you have some kind of superpower, Kalika? My business is to provide support for braces such as yourself. I simply decipher the intelligence that's provided and pass it on, as the mandates of my job require. Wow. We really appreciate your assistance. Think nothing of it. I trust that you will return to assist us should a major incident occur. You can count on us when the time comes. Well, do you want to go ahead and see the factory chief? Sounds good to me. Let's check the board too. Those are both long-term, but I'm gonna go for them anyways now. So, librarian and that. So, trap planes. I think that's this one up here. No, it's Ritter Roadway. This is trap planes. Yeah. Okay, let's murder some bitches. Where is... Let me look up where the palms are here. Rat Road, South Exit, to Carnelia Tower. Okay. So I need to go... I think this way. I think I need to go down one more screen. Maybe not, actually. Might be wrong about that. Still, let me find this monster that we gotta find. And mortar. Oh, okay. For that one. There we go.
We're good to go.
Must be awfully optimistic if you think more treasure is going to appear in this chest. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so... Oh, what's this? It's empty. Diabolical. Damn. Okay, so maybe it isn't up here. Exactly. Unless it's up back this way. Wouldn't be empty if you hadn't already looted it, now would it? I mean, sound logic, I guess. Okay, yeah, it's probably up on the next screen then. On the previous screen, rather. Where is it at? Okay, so it might be up here then. Yeah, it's probably up here. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Okay, and Carnelia's up there. So we'll go ahead and do that. Grab that palm. These boys just sleeping. Can't believe it. Okay. Do White Gehenna. Feel like right there. Yeah, perfect. Boop. Boop.
Let's move out.
Feels so empty inside. Same, buddy. Same. Okay. This is not the right one. Where is it? It's up here. So it should be south of the exit to Carnelia. There it is. Found that one much quicker. There we go. Got one of them. That's about all we need. Yeah, we only need to kill one of them, so that's good. Now we're just missing the one Grancel and we're done with palms. Throw my cloak back on. Okay. Let's head back to Zeiss. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this one in real quick. Alright, cool. Now we can head up here, go talk to the library. Excuse me, we saw your request on the bulletin board. Oh my, you're here already. I only just put in the request a little while ago. Well, we did just come in to change assignments, so we're ready for work. Well, shall we get started then? Yes, that's fine. Is this about hiring the temp librarian, right? Yes, that's right. It turned out to be much more of an ordeal than expected. What kind of ordeal? I'll explain that in a moment. Beforehand, though, I have a matter that I would like you to help settle. Consider it a favor, if you will. What kind of matter are you referring to? The archives loaned out some books out to various central factory departments. Sometimes they keep them past the due date and don't pay the fees. First, I'd like you to get our books back. What? That's simple. Where do we need to go? Let's see. They should be in the 3rd floor design room and the 4th floor lab and clinic. 3rd floor design room and 4th floor lab and clinic. Got it. Is that everything? Yes. Please come back once you have them. Okay, we will. We'll start immediately. Alright. 3rd floor. Design room. 4th floor. Oh god, I just smacked my pop filter into my face. Love it. Yeah, it was the clinic. Kitty Talk for Dummies, hell yeah. And lab. Tomorrow's cooking. And now we get to read the books. Because we are reading every single fucking book. Okay. Septium Optic Animals. Published by the Zeiss Central Factory. General theory, the current state of orbital technology research. Particulars, research pertaining to orbital energy, attributes on a quartz interface. R&D for high output orbital guns which utilize zero defect crystals. Statistical predictions of precipitation of defects due to interference field formation. Relative cascade geometry and propulsion efficiency under low orbital energy conditions. Mechanical calculation acceleration through the use of orbital energy storing cycloidal gears with a tourbillon. General theory, the current state of orbital technology research. During these 50 years since the orbital revolution, the Central Factory has striven in the reform of orbital technology by working out a number of applicable methods for its use. Currently, the research findings of this same factory have been utilized in all facets of society and have greatly contributed to the development of industry. However, on the flip side of all these remarkable achievements, the field of basic research has been disregarded as a thing of naught. What is orbital energy, and what are the fundamental operating principles of an orbit? Now, in an age where social appraisal of technological research has become an unchallenged part of life, it leaves us to beg the question of whether or not we should return to basics. Alright, tomorrow's cooking. Let's see. Okay. Quit emailing me, Amazon. Jeez. Alright, cooking is a science. Recipes for the new millennium. Today, I will be introducing one of my newest cooking recipes, especially for the readers of this book. And that recipe is none other than, drum roll please, can you guess what it is? It's bouillabaisse? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, who knows? That's right, this delectable dish of unobtrusive monster bits is the one that everyone can enjoy. Follow my groundbreaking recipe and that monster corpse you've been dragging around will taste simply divine. Now whip out your sword and let's get started. Ingredients: 2 juicy bones, 2 fish fillets, 1 crisp onion, red pepper, add to taste, and clear gelatin, add to taste. I don't think you're supposed to add gelatin to taste. That doesn't make sense. Hold up. I'm not sure, but I don't think gelatin is supposed to be a thing that you add for its flavor. But alright. Anyways. Directions. 1. Wash juicy bones thoroughly with water. If you are still bothered by the scent, then try boiling them. Or if all else fails, ram a clove of garlic deep into each nostril. 2. Finely chop crisp onion. Chop juicy bones and fish fillets into edible sized pieces. Lightly rinse clear gelatin in water after unraveling it. 3. Saute ingredients in a heated frying pan. After fish fillet has been lightly cooked, add water or soup and simmer until liquid has half evaporated. Lastly, add clear gelatin and bring them to a boil. Remove from heat and wait for thickening. After clear gelatin thickens, cut it into edible sized pieces. Your bouillabaisse is now ready. You may eat it as is, or heating it with a little flashy orbital magic makes for a great dinner show. This dish is great for lunchboxes and scaring small children. Good shit. Alright. Best book in the entire game right here, Kitty Talk for Dummies, and this actually translates to all of the cats in the game. Things to be aware of when speaking in feline. Pronunciation of the feline language has distinct characteristics depending on the region, and may differ slightly from the following information. This could be considered comparable to dialects in the human tongue. In addition, since the number of elongated vowel sounds indicated by the what is that again? I don't even remember. It's like the tilde character, I think, are immediately related to a cat's personality and emotional state. There's quite a broad range of variation. That being said, I have attempted to compile a list of the most common expressions. Specific examples. Nyaun. You are absolutely right. Strong affirmation. Nyago. This way when guiding. Nyao. This is it. Nya ya ya, an expression of delight. Nya ya go, hold up, when urging to be cautious. Nya, these nails are bothering me, when agitated. Nya, I'm hungry. Nyaon is an expression of caution. Nyaon, I'm tired. Nyaon? Who are you? Nyaon? Yes, that's right. Nyao? What's wrong? Nyao. So we meet again, fleshy thing. Nyago is it's been a while. How have you been? Nyaon is goodbye. Nyao is yes, that's exactly right. With a strong affirmation. Nyago is hello. Fumya is a yawn. Meown is what did you just say, oh hairless one? An expression of reproach. Meown, you are welcome, squishy pink thing. Meow is I'm hungry, kitten talk. Meow is I'm sorry. And that literally translates to any cats that talk in this entire fucking game. And I adore that. It's so stupid, but it works, and I love it. Oh, are you done? We brought them for you. I'm gonna need to get some more water here soon. All the books have been returned. Quest Temple Librarian completed. Good, now we have all the books again. I thank you for your assistance. It was no big deal. We didn't have any issues. That's good to hear. In that case, perhaps I should go ahead and ask for help with my favorite type of work. Oh, that's right. You mentioned having some significant problems somewhere along the line. So, what kind of work is it? Just like before, we need some overdue materials returned. The book in question is called The Herb Woodpecker. We'll make a note of that. Right, Herb Woodpecker. So it's a book on birds, right? So do you have any clues for us? Yes, as a matter of fact, take a look at this. Approach the man of stone standing in silence within the mountain village pond, and ye shall receive. Okay, I wrote that down, but what the heck is it? It was written on a card that was taken from the book. I imagine it's some kind of hint as to its whereabouts. A hint of bad poetry, maybe. It was only borrowed because someone with way too much time on their hands wanted to hide it somewhere? Evidently so. It's the sort of trick that researchers used to play on each other long ago. I have no idea what would possess someone to hide a book of all things. But we certainly have our fair share of unusual characters. It's not surprising that any of them might follow such a bizarre custom. Anyway, I can leave this matter in your capable hands. Please, bring the book back. Hey, hold on a sec. Is this the only lead we have? I'm afraid so. But the guild sent you, so I have every confidence in your ability. Well, that's just awesome. Understood. It'll be difficult work, but we'll do what we can. You may have to search every nook and cranny in Zeiss, but I'm sure you'll find it. I'll be waiting here. When you do find it, please bring it back to me. Let's get this show on the road then. I look forward to seeing you again. Alright, let's go. First floor. I think I remember where this one is. I also just walk down the upstairs. Let me double check the journal. Zeiss, Temple Librarian. Approach the man of stone standing in silence within the mountain village pond, and ye shall receive. Okay. Mountain village pond, so I think that's all the way in Elmo. Which we haven't been to Elmo yet, so let's go to Elmo. Hey, it's new people. Wow, they're young. Or maybe they just look young, but they're really old. Heh, nice. A little date vacation to the hot springs. That boy over there is one major hottie. Hey, you guys are from Zeiss, right? Right? What's popular there now? No, we're not, but okay. Welcome, everyone. This is the famous Maple Leaf Inn. We have lots of fine springs, including our famous Eastern-style outdoor bath. Wow. Do you have anything? Okay. Hello and welcome to the Maple Leaf Inn. We We have an authentic Eastern cuisine. We hope you have a wonderful time. Okay, so I think we need to go... I'm gonna talk to him. What a quiet day. Days like this are nice from time to time. If every day was like this, though, it would be bad for business. Okay, I think we have to go out here. Maybe not. So that's not Stone Man. Maybe I'm dumb. Because there's nothing like a hot bath after fishing. For that matter, there's nothing like a hot bath after just about anything. What a luxurious idea that is. Cleaning in progress, damn. Okay, maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the message. I think I might be misinterpreting the message. Okay. Man statue, Mountain Village Pond. No man statue out here, is there? Okay. Let me go back to Zeiss. What are you doing back here? Just about time to check our inventory. Once the order is assembled, we'll take all the goods to the Republic via the Wolf Fort. All that's left now is collecting the broken quartz. Let me see. Man statue. Is there a man statue out here? Statue of a man. There's this clock tower, but that's about the closest. First orbitally powered clock, made in the year 1162 of the Septian calendar by Zeissian manufacturers. Am I dumb? I feel dumb. I feel like this is something I should know. Pretty fucking easily. Let me double check this. Let me read this again. Approach the man of stone, standing in silence within the mountain village pond, and you shall receive. I'm not crazy, right? It does sound like it's talking about Elmo. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, so let me actually just look at the guide because I fucking don't remember. Okay, so I was on the right. Okay, I was on the right track. I'm just dumb apparently. Yeah, I'm actually just dumb. I missed what it was. Like, I even, was right up against it, and I just apparently just didn't see the interaction point or something. Let's see. At least I'm not crazy. Maybe I have to do it from over here. He's talking about this, right? Maple Leaf Inn, out the top right door. Go up north. Go north up the deck and down the stairs. Walk behind the stairs. Wait, walk behind the stairs? Oh, this way. There we go. Jesus. Alright, there we go. Back up we go. Nope. There we go. Now we can go back. Okay. Oh, have you made some progress? Yep, you betcha. We brought you your book. Please take a look to be certain. Oh my, this is indeed the right book. Thank you for finding it. Like there was ever any doubt. To be honest, I thought it was going to be a wild goose chase. Quite impressed that you actually managed to find it. Now I know I can leave the rest of the work in your hands. Right, wait, what? What rest of the work? There's more? Traditionally, the researchers would hide 3 books. This leaves us with 2 still yet to be found. Did I not tell you? This is most definitely the first I've heard of it. How odd. But you're already aboard the ship, so to speak. So I hope I can count on your full support until the end. Well, I guess so, but I mean, we'd have to deal with another unhinged person's idea of a game? Speaking of which, it's just like back in Ruan. No need to worry. The next book's hint has no words. Really? The proof is in the pudding, as the saying goes. See for yourself. You've gotta be kidding. No comments or anything. The name of the book in question is Hertz's Adventure 2. Hertz's Adventure 2. Got it. Only the first part remains in the library, so it gets quite frustrating to have to listen to patrons ask about the sequel constantly. Well, I hope this gets you fired up to find it. Lovely. Another brain teaser to figure out. I take back what I said about the stupid poetry. I'd much rather do that. Oh well, either way, we'd still be stuck trying to puzzle it out. Well, best of luck. I'll be waiting here as always. Alright, we'll be off then. We'll be back with that book before you know it. Am I able to read the books that I've turned in? Let me see. Yeah, let me read this, because I forgot to do that. A bird of legend, the herb scenic route is a road lined with beautiful groves of slender trees on each side of its cobbled path. A notable sight frequently appearing in the ancient royal court literature. It is thought by researchers that the scenery which knights once laid eyes on was far more spectacular than that which is seen today. Sadly, those vivid colors appearing in days of yore have long since been lost. Those awe-inspiring hues of which are written in poem and song refer to the plumage of a single bird, its name, the herb woodpecker. Presently, it is exceptionally rare to catch a glimpse of this brilliant azure bird. In fact, its extinction has been suggested on more than a few occasions. In an interesting light, traditional songs sung by knights of times past make frequent mention of these birds as being common sight. It undoubtedly seems as though there used to exist an incomparably large population of these woodpeckers, in contrast with their meager numbers in recent times. This brings us to the pivotal question of, what fate exactly befell these birds over the course of the last several hundred years? A peculiar mode of life. Although the herb woodpecker is in fact a woodpecker, it does not peck holes in the trunks of trees. The reason being, it cannot. In general, woodpeckers use their beaks to bore holes in the boles of trees for nesting. But for the herb woodpecker, this is an impossible task. Consequently, they figured out another way to deal with this problem. Even if they do not bore the hole themselves, there are many other nesting holes for them to choose from. That's right, they will usurp a nesting hole made by another species of woodpecker. The herb woodpecker, with a beak perfect for catching insects, and its clever ploy of stealing a fellow's nesting hole, has believed to be the traits that would allow it to prosper indefinitely. Invasion by an invasive species. A sudden change occurred when a new, larger species of woodpecker came to live in the forest inhabited by the herb woodpecker. This larger species had managed to migrate by way of boat from its distant native land. As nautical technology developed and trade began to flourish, the coming and going of marine vessels became increasingly dynamic. However, those which traveled on these boats and ships were not always human. Blending in with various freight and cargo, these creatures from other lands managed to come ashore one after another. With an introduction of this larger species of woodpecker, those smaller species, which were once endemic to the littoral, gradually left the herb forest in search of new habitats. Life also became problematic for the herb woodpecker as its nesting hole size differed greatly from the outsiders. Yet, despite these drawbacks, it continued to stay in the forest. With the other small species of its habitat being driven out, finding another woodpecker's nesting hole became increasingly difficult. If a nesting hole couldn't be found, the herb woodpecker, of course, could not reproduce either. Thus, the chances for reproduction among its kind gradually decreased, and a long era of decline set in among them. Cleverness and their eventual downfall. The Arab woodpecker, with its clever methodology of using the nesting holes of others, enjoyed a brief period of prosperity. However, having abandoned their ability to bore holes for themselves some millennia before, left them unable to cope with the abrupt changes in their environment. On the other hand, those other species of woodpeckers, despite having been displaced by invasive species countless times, have continued to prosper today as they have in times past. There are many things which we ourselves can learn from these tiny birds, so if you should happen to see one of these azure rarities flying amongst the trees of the grove-bordered avenue on the Herb Scenic Road, please remember that the struggle that they have been forced to endure. Wow. Bird facts. Okay. On to the next bit. Exactly where we need to go. At least I'm pretty sure I remember where we need to go. I hope I remember where we need to go. Because otherwise it's going to be a little scary. But I think I know. If I'm not mistaken, we come up around here. And we go through here. Yeah. Boop. Found a package wrapped in oil paper. It was Herd's Adventure 2. Monsters appeared. Oh shit. Who would have guessed? This is basically just free CP farming, so I'm okay with this. Chest is, you guessed it, empty. Yeah, why do we like that? Okay. Down we go. Alright, when I get back to Zeiss, I'm gonna grab more water, because I'm all out, and my throat is starting to annoy me. So, yeah. Probably should have just gotten water earlier when I had first run out, but it's fine. Okay. We'll chill right here. I shall return momentarily. Alright, I'm back. Let's get back on into this. I don't know what the fuck. I just, like, went into there. That was a weird, like, accent, I guess. I don't even know what to call that. Alright. Oh, did you find the book by any chance? Uh-huh, indeed we have. Again, please check it over just to be certain. Yes, this is the genuine article. And that leaves us with just one left. I need a break. What kind of book are we chasing down this time anyway? I'll spare you the teasing this time. This last one is entitled 31 Cypress Trees. And here is its card. It's got more of that unusual writing on it. Ah, you, 31 cypress trees, nestled atop this grassy hill, afflictions of far-off lands, draw nigh unto me, like wine barrels tumbling lightly down on a soft incline as I drift into reverie, enveloped within the resonance of the toiling bell, with, 3 FL in barrel. So, third floor barrels. Oh man, more of this gibberish. I think I'm actually starting to get used to these. Another riddle. Is this your specialty or something? Well, your task is the same as before. May Adios herself speed you on your way to success. Okay, we're going. Pardon us. So, third floor, barrels. I think that's in here. No, not these barrels. Different barrels. Are there barrels in here? Nope. Are there barrels over here? Nope. It's gotta be these barrels, right? Haven't we? Wait, what? Now that you mention it, we did meet previously when we were in Ruan. I thought so. You two were a real help at that time. I appreciate you finding the orbital gun prototype for me. Oh yeah, you're that science guy. How'd all your research go and research and stuff end up going anyways? I think it's safe to say the orbital gun's research is moving along nicely. It'll take some time to properly micronize the components, but we can do it. If things go smoothly, we can have them on the shelves soon. I hope they can end up being big sellers. Okay. Am I dumb? I am on third floor, right? Yes. Third floor barrels. Third floor. Barrels. What? Three FL barrel. I don't... What? This is third floor. These are the only barrels that exist, unless I'm blind. Am I dumb? Am I forgetting something? Am I dumb? I feel dumb. Third floor barrels. What else can I'm so confused. Oh yeah, I can get tomatoes here. I get tomatoes as often as possible because those make some really good food. This term I was supposed to be studying greenhouses. Did you know that what studying greenhouses means? Quite literally, you are watching the grass grow. Boring and, more importantly, unmarketable. So I decided to breed a new species of tomato. It rescued me, so to speak. So, would you like to try would you like to sample my tomato? Maybe eventually. Recently, Ray had me try some kind of vile anti-nap food product sample. Looks like a tomato, but it's terribly bitter. Definitely made me forget any thoughts of sleep, but I can't get the taste out of my mouth. But that's like calling mousetraps on your earlobes anti-sleep aids. I mean, if it works, it works. Is something the matter? This is the factory clinic. We're equipped for dealing with conventional illness too, so don't hesitate to come in. Yes. Okay, what the fuck? Am I dumb? I feel dumb. There's no barrels in here. There's no barrels in here. Except for these ones, but I can't do anything with these. Let me see. There's not anywhere else that has barrels, right? Don't think there is. Am I dumb? Am I just dumb? I might just be dumb. I don't know. Third floor barrels, right? 3 FL barrel. This is the only barrel. Okay, let me look. Another hint. Oh, it's okay. It's not in Zeiss. That's why. Okay, so we need to go to. Let me look at the map. Where's the real map? There we go. So we need to go up and then take the right path rather than the left path. Okay. Yeah, God, I was thinking fucking Zeiss that entire time. I'm dumb. Okay. This way. Who are you? Gundalf? Oh, there's been a monster killing a lot of monster killing requests coming in for me. Lots of monsters I've never seen before. That can't be a good sign. Yeah, probably not. Okay. First floor, second floor. Third floor barrel. There we go. Woohoo! Found it. And that's the last one. I can finally finish up our work for the librarian. You ain't kidding. Huh? What's wrong? There's a card stuck in the book. And something's written on it. You've done well. Though I know you not, I salute you for coming so far. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm a quartz researcher and the criminal who hid the 3 books. I've used the riddles as a way to find someone intelligent to whom I could entrust my work, and you lived up to my hopes and expectations remarkably. Consider the enclosed quartz your reward and take care when examining it. Thank you for all your time. I truly hope that my quartz will prove useful to you. P.S. If you found this package by sheer chance, how embarrassing, and lucky you. Please return to the 2nd floor archives of the Central Factory. That's it. So it was all one big practical joke? So it would seem. Have you looked into the package? Alright, let's see if we can see what we can see. P3. Heh, jackpot. I think we should check in with the client for the time being. Fine by me. Yes, let's go. Alright, there we go. almost there. Let's get back on up there, turn the book in, and then we'll continue. Oh, perchance have you... Yep, we found the last book. Just be sure to look. Just to be sure, please look at it. Yes, this is definitely it. I'm impressed. You actually found all 3 books. Heh, it just took some perseverance and patience. Oh yeah, that's not all we found. I was right in the same spot as the book. And over the note and the quartz left behind by the thief. Perhaps this is a clue as to his motivations. Still, regardless of the reason, you've done a great deal for me. You can keep the quartz for yourselves. In return for having taken me, for my having taken up so much of your time. Thank you. So, is that all you need for us to do? Yes, that's a lot. Ooh, that's a relief. I was afraid you were going to say you still had more work for us. You worked so hard that there's really nothing left. I'm very grateful for your help. Now I can just relax for the time being. What? Oh, it's nothing. Thank you again. Feel free to come by at any time. We will, thanks. Pleased to be of service. Alright, time to read all those books. This one's Hertz Adventure 1? Yeah. Alright. Lots of reading time. Hertz Adventure. Encounter with the Spectacled Genie, Part 1. Using his finger to push his slipping glasses back up onto the ridge of his nose, young Hertz continued his journey. As far as he could see in every direction, the earth had been blanketed with a thick layer of white. The fine powder covering the ground in undulating lumps and clumps was actually made up of pale granules of sand, which were light and fluffy like the freshly driven snow. "Where's the river supposed to be?" came the raspy voice of a youth named Midas from behind. Midas, a skinny boy with hair the color of tobacco leaves protruding from the butt of a hand-rolled cigarette, was Hertz's most trusted friend and one who never hesitated to tag along with him on one of his impulsive adventures. "It's just a little further," young Hertz replied without turning his head to look back at his companion. The two of them had set out for the spindly river which cut directly across the center of the parched white desert and the oasis beside it. A rest stop well known for being the last place of refuge for those travelers and their camels who were brave enough to cross the scorching dunes. Young Hertz and Midas had planned to camp there along the riverside that evening before, attempting to trek across the remainder of the barren lands the following day. "So, do you really think we'll be alright?" Midas asked as he unwrapped the silver wrapper of a half-melted candy. "There's been a rumor going around about a genie appearing in these parts. Believe it or not, but some people say that it'll even gobble up whole people." "Rumors are just that, rumors," replied young Hertz. "But I might consider their veracity if we ever did happen to come across one," he added, brushing off the idea with a chuckle. No sooner had the words left his mouth when a booming voice thundered from somewhere behind them. "Then how about you start considering that now?" Upon this, young Hertz turned around quickly, his eyes searching for the source of the questioning voice. There, standing upon him, was the figure of a decrepit genie swathed in a robe of incomprehensible black, its back more bowed than the curled spine of a cat seeking its master's attention, and a pair of old spectacles perched atop the curved shape of its talon-like nose. Yet, the more young Hertz looked at the genie, the more unsure he became as to whether he was staring at something resembling a shriveled old man or a ghastly old woman. Midas froze in terror as he saw the tall, robed personage not far from his side. I'm scared," he stuttered with a face wider than the desert sand surrounding them as he noticed young Hertz's gaze fixated on the genie. "My candy just got stuck in my throat is all," he croaked as he bumbled out through a jumble of ridiculous excuses in his head. A complex smirk of wrinkles curled across the genie's cheeks, giving the illusion that something else was living below its haggard skin. "Oh my, how cruel it is to have been gobbled up whole. What a piteous fate for that sugared lump of candy in your gullet." Not seeming to mind the fact that the spectacles had begun to slip from his nose, the genie continued to shake its head, gripped by some mad delight. But fear not, my little drop of sweetness, for I shall avenge you by digesting the very marrow of these bones, as I change them into the dust of these arid lands. The genie narrowed its turbid eyes and trundled towards Midas. In an instant, the sleeves of its robe were flung back, exposing thin, gnarled arms which shook like a pair of long, withered branches in the wind. The genie's fingertips extended, sharp as pointed tridents, and sped towards Midas's twitching face, advancing with precision, or at least that's what it seemed like, until they were passed by the boy's face and stabbed futilely at the empty air. As if being slightly amazed by the failed attempt, the genie cocked its head in surprise, but soon thereafter took notice of what had been amiss. In a hurry, it brought both of its hands up to its ancient face and began to neatly adjust the pair of spectacles which sat crookedly on top of the bent nose. "I've had poor eyesight since I was a child too," said young Hertz to the creature as it fumbled with the glasses. "It looks to me like yours is worse than mine." As soon as the genie took in the young boy's words, another much larger set of furrowed wrinkles appeared on its face. "How did you know?" it asked suspiciously. The genie tweaked the position of the spectacles on the bridge of its nose before returning back to young Hertz and inquired again, "How did you know my eyes were so bad?" Young Hertz exchanged incredulous looks with Midas, both taken aback by the genie's apparent obliviousness. However, while this was occurring, another expression had taken over the wizened face. "So that's it, huh? I see how it is." And the genie went on as it raised a bony white finger and pointed at the set of glasses young Hertz was wearing. "Those are magical spectacles, aren't they?" the creature declared triumphantly. What?" said young Hertz with a confused look on his face. "Indeed, they must be," the black-robed genie muttered as it cast its eyes heavenward, while ignoring young Hertz's response, and once more the crone-like figure began to tremble with glee. To be continued. Part 2. Those magical spectacles must be capable of seeing the true nature of anyone who stands before them. After a frightful bout of shaking from excitement, but this time making sure to check that its own spectacles were aligned, the genie gazed down resolutely at young Hertz. "There's no point in having a boy such as yourself hang on to such an invaluable item. In fact, it would be in your best interest to hand them over. Otherwise," it trailed off. But instead of elaborating on its threat, the genie simply extended its arms once more. This time, the genie picked up on a boulder, much larger than any normal person could lift, and young Hertz and Midas watched as the mass of rock disappeared into the fiery depths of its open mouth, causing the wind to stir as it clamped down its distended jaws with incredible force. The genie gulped down the large rock as if it had been a light snack, and not a moment later, a hollow sound like something thrown into a deep well echoed in the depths of its belly. "So, have I made myself clear? If you do not hand over those spectacles, it is you who will end up being my next sweet morsel." Midas looked at young Hertz with a frightful gaze. Did you see that humongous mouth of his? He's the real deal, alright. It's just like the rumors say." "Yeah, but that still leaves us with another problem," sighed young Hertz. "Without my glasses, I can't continue my travels." As young Hertz stood pondering the dilemma, another large boulder by his feet disappeared into the genie's voracious mouth, followed once again by the ominous hollow echo from beneath its sable garb. "But if it eats us, then we're both done for," argued Midas as he stood shivering with fright, imagining the candy he had swallowed not minutes before. "I guess you're right," concluded the young Hertz, and he stepped closer to the genie. "Alright, good sir, we'll give in to your demands. Being swallowed whole doesn't sound like much fun," he declared. "And a wise choice you've made, boy," replied the genie. After taking a long look at young Hertz's face, the genie narrowed its eyes and a plethora of wrinkles crinkled about their corners. Young Hertz said nothing as he unseated the pair of glasses from behind his nose and obediently placed them at the feet of the genie. "So these are magical spectacles," the creature said in a voice quavering with excitement as it squatted down, its face drawing closer to where they lay in the sand. Impatiently, it tossed aside its own spectacles, and after blindly searching by hand for the object of its fascination through the soft, granulated sand, it picked them up and placed them snugly atop its nose. These are no less than magical spectacles indeed, it cried out with a tremor of delight. As it danced around, causing its robe to flutter about wildly, with these I shall have nothing to fear. And with one last deafening screech, it disappeared just as suddenly as it had arrived. The drifting echo of its voice faded, and the two of the boys once stood again alone on a sea of white sand. Midas scanned the area around them. "Looks like he's really gone," he said, his voice weak with relief. Indeed, there was no sign as far as the eye could see of the black-robed figure. Feeling a pang of sympathy as he looked at the side of young Hurt's face, who strangely enough seemed to be amused about something, Midas began to rummage through his pocket, looking for a piece of candy to offer his friend as a token of solace over the loss of his trusty eyewear. Walking up to the other boy, Midas held out the piece of candy, its silver wrapper half undone. "Don't be disheartened, old friend. It's not like this is the last adventure we'll have." "I think I'm gonna be just fine," replied young Hertz. His voice was subdued, but the adventurer's eyes twinkled with laughter. Then, as if harking back to some past event, he continued his thoughts aloud. "Man, that genie must have been blinder than a bat with no eyes," he said in astonishment. Midas stared at young Hertz, uncomprehendingly, until the other boy turned fully toward him, a grin splitting his face from ear to ear. Then Midas saw it, and a smile of his own spread across his face. For there, resting atop his friend's nose, was something which had grown familiar to him over the years. In the end, it seemed like the poor fool managed to mistake his own glasses for mine, young Hertz went on in a comical tone. "So, the ones you are wearing now are?" Midas asked, though the silver rims of the glasses had already confirmed it. "Yep, they're the exact ones I put on this morning." With a happy air, young Hertz took the sugary treat from his friend and popped it into his mouth. However, this time, as the honeyed glaze of the candy balls they carried in their mouths melted away, both he and his friend made certain not to swallow them whole. "You know," Midas said as they walked along, "even if there were such a thing as magical spectacles, I don't think they'd amount to anything in his possession, because as you and I both know, he has a habit of losing them whenever things matter the most." Books. Yeah, big drink of water after that. Alright. Let me see, where's the other one? There it is. Okay, I think I'm ready. 31 cypress trees. The good farmer Sherpot planted 5 cypress trees in his garden. The good farmer Sherpot dunged the earth carefully about them. The good farmer Sherpot suffered a year of pestilence. The good farmer Sherpot watched as all of his trees withered away. The good farmer Sherpot planted another 7 cypress trees. The good farmer Sherpot dunged the earth about them even more. The good farmer Sherpot, is that? I don't know, maybe I'm mispronouncing that. Sheprot? I'm gonna go with Sheprot. Suffered a year of bitter winter. The good farmer Sheprot watched as all of his trees snapped in the biting cold. The good farmer Sheprot planted still another 9 cypress trees. The good farmer Sheprot dunged the earth about them furthermore. The good farmer Sheprot saw his trees grow into a great canopy. The good farmer Sheprot watched as all of his trees broke under the weight of a great snow. The good farmer Sheprot planted yet another 11 cypress trees. The good farmer Sheprot plucked those which were frail and cast them into the fire. The good farmer Sheprot suffered another year of pestilence and great winter. The good farmer Sheprot watched as his last tree grew into a magnificent fir. The good farmer Sheprot, in order to confect a single grand cypress. The good farmer Sheprot planted 32 cypress trees. The good farmer Sheprot, with his loving goodness for them all, the good farmer Sheprot brought 31 cypress trees to the depths of ruination. Alright, we're done reading books now. I forgot how many fucking books this section of the game throws at you. Okay, onward we go. Yeah, we must have spent like a good 15 minutes there just reading books. Okay, we need to go up one more floor. I think. No, one more. No, that's where Tita is. Still though. Let's see. A problem made with changeover means that something is probably wrong with the memory. Have you run a full diagnostic on the memory core yet? Currently, the orbital calculator is in poor condition. Can't seem to repair it no matter what we try. Seems to act up when we switch modes. Do you have any ideas to share with us? Okay. Am I on the wrong floor still? Is it the second floor? Where am I supposed to go? I don't even know. Hold up, let me check main quest. Factory Chief. Okay, you know what, let me go try the quests that I have done right now. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, you're the ones with Tita before, no? Welcome to the Central Factory. Can I help you? We are from the Bracer Guild. I'd like to meet with the factory head if we may. Still reached into her pouch, paused for dramatic effect, and then flourished the introduction note to meet the factory chief. Joshua looked stoic and tried not to roll his eyes. I see. Just a moment, please. Hazel used the intercom, keeping one eye wary on Estelle all the while. Sir, I'm terribly sorry to bother you during your... Yes, sir, the people from the Bracer Guild are... Yes, sir, right away. Thank you for waiting. Factory Chief Murdoch will see you now. His office is upstairs on the second floor. Nice, I didn't think he'd see us so quickly. Let's not keep him waiting. Come in, there we go. Hey, I've been waiting for you too. Estelle and Joshua, right? Yes, it's nice to meet you, sir. Sorry to bother you at work like this. No, don't worry yourselves about that. The Bracer Guild, and Cassius in particular, have done a great deal for me in the past. It'd be rude of me not to welcome his children. Huh? You know Dad? I guess you might say that. He was my benefactor. No exaggeration to say that the Central Factory produces the finest orbments in the land. Naturally, the confrontations over our craft have never really stopped. Whenever we've had a problem, we'd always contact the Roland branch and have them come over. I see. That explains all the business trips then. And now my benefactor's kids have come to visit me themselves. So, what can I do for you? I'm happy to help. Thanks, sir. It's kind of a long story. Joshua and Estelle explained to Murdoch the events surrounding the mysterious black orbman. I see. Well then. Would you mind if I had a look at this orbman? Sure, no problem. Estelle produced the black orbman and handed it to the factory chief. Now this is certainly an oddity. It's obviously made from modern materials, but the caliber isn't inscribed anywhere. Caliber? You mean the numbers that are carved into the orbman's frame? Exactly. It's almost unheard of for an orbment to be produced without them. It's not just in Liberl either. Most other nations on the continent are the same way. It's been a tradition dating back to when the orbments were first invented 50 years ago. Huh, you don't say. Yo, what's up, Zero? How you doing? Estelle took out a combat orbment and eyeballed it suspiciously. You're right. There are numbers right there. Crazy. You mean to say that you never noticed in all this time? Oh, you hush. But seriously, is it really that strange for one to have no caliber on it? Good? Nah, hell yeah. I'm doing pretty good. Tired, but good. But that's just, usual things at this point. It's pretty much part of the production process, and that goes for any orbital factory. It's as if this one were a prototype or something. If so, I'd imagine it wasn't made to entertain at birthday parties, if you take my meaning. So, less with the sweet and awesome, more with the stabby hurdy. Got it. Of course, I can't say for certain without looking inside. What is it? Bah, I can't find the maintenance cover. And now that I really look at it, it has no seams to it at all. How the hell was this thing made? I don't see any way to check out in the inside of it. Aw, man. Would it be possible to cut it open? That might work, yes. But I'd hate to just break something belonging to Cassius like that. Oh, okay. Maybe we should let the professor handle it. Oh, right, the one mentioned in the note. Yeah, he should be able to tell us something. There was a note that was included with the orbment. Stell showed Murdoch the note that was in the package for Cassius. Please ask Professor R to do an analysis. You wouldn't happen to know who this Professor R is, would you? Well, let me think. From the letter R and the people that Cassius knew, it must be Professor Russell. I thought so. Who's Professor Russell? And wait a second, how do you know this guy? I don't, but I know of him. He's known as the person who brought the orbital technology to Liberl in the first place. Hey, you know your stuff. As I'm sure you know, orbments were invented by Professor Epstein, and Professor Russell was one of his disciples. 40 years ago, he brought the orbments and his knowledge back, and that's why Liberl is a technologically advanced nation. Might say that he was the father of the orbital revolution. Wow, now that is impressive. Man, I had no idea that Dad knew anyone like that. Even so, it worries me that you'll be letting the old professor handle this orbment. I really have no idea what it is. Huh? Well, how to put it? For good or ill, he's a certified genius. When he gets an idea for a new invention in his head, there's no telling what he'll do. Much like the time he was developing the first orbital airship. What's with that far-off look? I guess that a lot's happened. Sorry. I'm sure he'll be able to figure this thing out. Go and find him and ask him about it. Can't hurt. Thanks, Chief. Where should we go to find him? Hold on a moment. Murdoch flicked the switch on the intercom. Testing. Ah, good. Actually, I've been looking for you. Sorry to bother you, but can you come here? Alright, I'll be waiting. What, did you just call the professor or something? Oh, no. He actually has a private workshop in town. He has all the latest technology at his disposal, so I figure he can know he can figure out something about that thing. Wow, he really must be a genius. Wait, then who did you call? His granddaughter. She works here at the factory. I'm sure the child will be happy to show you the way. The child? Excuse me. What? You? Oh, Estella and Joshua? You mean that you know each other? Yeah, we only met just a little while ago, though. So then I guess that she's the professor's granddaughter? Exactly. Tita, I've been talking with Estelle and Joshua here. I'd like for you to show them the way to your house. To see Grandpa? Okay, I will. I appreciate it. Ah yes, if you learn anything new, I'd love if you came back and told me. As an engineer, I'm extremely curious to know more about this. Sure thing. If you'll excuse us then. Hey, I didn't think you'd be coming. And you're even the granddaughter of the famous professor. It's no wonder you're so comfortable with orbments. Oh, come on. I'm still just studying under my grandpa. Oh, by the way, do you bracers have business with my grandpa? Well, sort of. The situation is kind of complicated. You can explain everything once we see your grandfather. Oh, okay. My house is in the southwest corner of town. Get off the escalator and go straight until you reach the south entrance. Then turn to the west and there it is. Got it. Well, let's get moving. Yeah. Let me equip her stuff. And once again, protect the child. Give her long barrel. Give her that extra 3 defense because we must protect the child. We must not let any harm come to her. Especially considering she has super fucking low health compared to everyone else. Oh, and let me equip Orbits. EP cut. Movement. Let's go ahead and throw Impede on her. Actually, does this one have to be... No, it doesn't. Okay, let me switch this one to... Let's do an attack 3, and then we'll make this one a defense 3, a hit 3, and then we'll make this one move. Actually, do we want move? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that works. That gives her a decent selection of spells. Cool. This is my house. Wow, nice place. Professor Russell is here. No, I think he's in the workshop. Through this door. We should go and say hi then. I'm home, Grandpa. Okay, maybe this way. So is this the professor? Nice to, meet you. My name is Estelle Bray of the Bracer Guild. I actually came to get your expert opinion on, got it! I did it. It's finally complete. That's right. Who's the man? I'm the man. Yes, I should start testing it at once. Whoa! What the hell? I'm sorry, Estelle. Grandpa kind of goes into a trance when he's working and he doesn't really notice what's going on around him. I think he's just finished up on the device he's been working on for the past few days. Ah, I see. He really is something. Oh, he's something, alright. I'm so embarrassed. Grandpa, there's some people here who need to talk to you. Oh, Tita, you've come at just the right time. I need your help with compiling the data from these tests. But Grandpa, this new invention will actually block a biosensor orbit's detection faculties. It emits a unique orbital force field that deflects the energy that a biosensor sends out when it scans. Oh, really? Yes, really. Since when do I overstate my own accomplishments? Now come on, we've got testing to do. Right. Professor Russell and Tita began working with some complex-looking equipment. Hey now. Never mind, Estelle. I think we should just let them be for a little while. Hey, you with the black hair. Who, me? Who else? On the upstairs bookcase is a notebook titled Orbital Energy as Applied to Force Fields. Go get it. Go on, be quick about it. Alright. Wait, Joshua. Hey, young lady, you with the antenna hair. The antenna? Oh, no, you didn't. Quit farting around and make some coffee. Why should I have to make you coffee? I take it black, by the way. I want it clear as mud. You're not hearing a word I say. Fine, whatever. Yep, perfect. All set, Grandpa. Just as fast as ever. Oh. Where are Estelle and Joshua? Who? Come to think of it, I do vaguely recall a couple of young folks. Murdoch sent along some fresh faces then, I presume. Grandpa! And so Estelle and Joshua had inadvertently wound up as assistants in the experiment. After many small but relatively harmless explosions and some singeing of the eyebrows, the day gave way to evening. Ha ha ha, sorry about all that. I just assumed you were both new employees at the central factory. So it's only natural that you wound up being drafted as assistants. This is no laughing matter. Especially since the only thing you had me helping up with was making coffee. Girls can bang metal parts together too, old man. Relax, Estelle. We've got some valuable experience out of the deal in the end. How often does one get to participate in startup tests on a brand new type of orbman after all? Well now, you're a bright lad then, aren't you? Want to give up this bracer nonsense and start up in the field of orbital engineering? Grandpa, I'm really sorry, guys. I guess I got caught up in the moment too. You don't need to apologize, sweetie. But I thought the father of the orbital revolution was going to be some really amazing man, not some old fart with attention deficit issues. Ha ha ha, please, you're too kind. Moving on, so I'm being paid by a visit by the children of Cassius. That's quite the surprise. So you really do know our dad? Yes, from way back when. I've known him since his army days, some 20 years or so. I've met him too. He had the really nice mustache, right? Well, I don't know if I'd call it nice so much as suspicious looking. But if he's known Dad for that long, it looks like we'll be safe and trusting you-know-what with Professor Russell after all. Yes, I have to agree. Huh? What are you talking about? And what was it you wanted my help with? Well, Estelle explained to the professor the whole sequence of events surrounding the Black Orbman. I see. Wow, a pitch black Orbman. Yes, most intriguing. And with no inscribed caliber or seams. Look at that frame, too. Professor Russell produced a cutting tool from his belt. Without a word, he pushed the blade's edge against the outer shell of the orbment. Wait, what are you doing? It's a special alloy steel cutter. Just as I thought. Here, take a look. Okay. Stella and Joshua and Tita peered intently at the black orbman. Huh? It's not even a scratch. This frame is made from some type of metal that I've never before encountered. Opening it up for a closer look is going to be quite the task, I think. That's just crazy. Can't find some way to open it. We'll be right back to square one. Well, I can certainly spend some time on trying. But first, I think maybe we should put it under a measurement scan. What now? That huge piece of equipment you saw when we were working on the experiment. It can gauge orbital energy activity in real time. You're making my head hurt with all your techno babble. Just tell me what using that thing will accomplish. To put it in layman's terms, it will allow us to see just what this orbment does. We won't be able to draw any definitive conclusions just from measuring what kind of orbital activity is occurring, but it's a start. And that should give us a major clue. Indeed. So, without further ado... Grandpa, shouldn't we have lunch first? Sure. Stella and Joshua, you're both welcome to join us. I can't promise it'll be anything special, but... sounds great to me. We'll even help with prep. Alright, come on then. Got a bit to do while lunch is prepared. No, I want to see it too. No fair working when I'm not around. My house, my rules. What is up with these two? Now I see where she gets it. Ahem. Now, if everyone is ready, let's get this started. Estelle, if you'll put the orbman onto the stand. Okay. Like this? Yes, thank you. Are you ready, Tita? All set? Good, good. Now commencing the orbital force measurement test on the Black Orbment. Black Orbment, so that's going to be the official name after all. But using it officially is so boring and simple. Why not something cool like Dark Thingy of Impending Doom? No, simple is best. Anything longer than Black Orbment would just be annoying to say. Oh, look at her. She's all anxious to start. Huh? Oh. Alright, let's begin. Tita, if you'll activate the scanner, please. Okay. Output set at 45. Putting all measuring equipment on standby. Roger. Done. All measuring equipment is calibrated. Okay, from here on out, this is the real deal. Since no direct input or output was detected, all we can do is measure how the central crystal circuit responds. Now let's see how much this contraption is really worth. You're sure in a good mood. And click! Neat, it's all glowing and stuff. I get it, it's putting a major strain on the crystal circuit. There. Cheetah, any readings? Yes, but they're kinda weird. The tachometer's needle is shaking like crazy. Now it's spinning around the dial. What? What's going on here? Joshua! It's the same black light from before. What? Grandpa, it won't take much more of this. You have to shut it down. Don't you dare. Just a little longer and we'll have something. Wait a second, all the lights in town are going out. Huh? What in? We have no choice then. Terminating the experiment. Oh. They're back on. Whew. Let's see the readout. Nothing. It didn't record anything. And the only thing that kept working was the scanner on which the black orbment sat. But even that, well, as for everything else... Good, it looks like the experiment's finished. How's it outside? Fine, all the lights are back, like nothing happened. Still a lot of people panicking, though. Okay. But just what the hell was all that? That was what I would dub the orbital shutdown phenomenon. The what now? You mean how everything inside all orbits just stopped working at once? So the black orbit did this. Yes, I have no doubt. But I would never have dared to guess that its effect would be so extensive. There's definitely more to this than I expected. Interesting. Most interesting indeed. Only you would think causing a blackout over an entire city is interesting. Professor? Ah, Murdoch. Just the man I wanted to see. The feeling is not mutual. Every single time you invent something, it means trouble for me. What the hell were you up to that would cause all the power downtown to go out? How rude. It's not even my fault this time. See that there? That's the black orbment, and it caused this. Is that the... Okay, I get it. If that's the root of this, then it's genuine extenuating circumstances. But it still means that this was your fault. Ah, nuts, you got me. That's it? They're just okay again? Are they always like this? This is embarrassing. And so, the first day in Zeiss kept everyone busy. Due to how late it was, Estelle and Joshua stayed at the lab for the night. Oh, man, yesterday was such a crazy day. I was surprised enough at town, but I really wasn't expecting to deal with anything like that. No kidding. But back on the subject of the black orbment. It's much more powerful than I'd ever imagined possible. Yeah. What's the professor gonna do now that his equipment's gone all kerflooey? Good morning, guys. Morning, Cheetah. Good morning. Quite a big day yesterday. No kidding. Did you guys sleep okay? Yep, like babies. Is the professor already up? Oh, he left for the central factory early this morning. He said something about how he was going to expose all the Black Orbman's secrets. Wow, looks like getting roared at over and over by the factory chief yesterday didn't even put a dent in him. Really appreciate both of you taking the time to just look over something a couple of relative strangers brought you. Oh, it's fine, really. Grandpa's investigating out of pure curiosity more than anything. I should go to the factory myself once I'm done with breakfast. What do you plan to do? Naturally, we'll be coming with you. I want to know what's really going on with that Orbment too. Maybe there's something we can do to help. Yay, then you can come with me. Oh, I almost forgot about the soup. Just a second, you two. I'll bring you breakfast as soon as I make sure it's edible and not on fire. I guess that's what that smell is. But man, what a cutie. I wish we could take her back with us to Roland. She'd be like a pet, cheering us up whenever we're feeling down. That's kind of creepy, Estelle. Yeah, a little bit. And now that we've had a good breakfast, off to the central factory. But before we do that, I'd like to check in at the guild. I think it might be best to report on what happened yesterday, just to be on the safe side. Well, okay. Hey, Tita, would you mind if we stop by there on our way? Sure, go ahead. Let's go. Any new things? No, okay. Oops. Need to talk. There we go. Good morning. That was some day yesterday, wasn't it? When you're ready, we'd like your full report on it. Business as usual, Klika. I've heard the basics from the factory chief already, but I'd like to expand that account with some first-hand details. Well, Joshua explained the details of the orbital blackout. I see. So the orbment that was sent to Cassius in secret was in fact something dangerous. The guild is very interested in these developments. We need to continue working with Professor Russell for the present. We thought you'd say that. When we have more information, we'll contact you immediately. Okay, what about now? Still nothing. Okay, I'm cool with that. What does this child say? Hey! Hey, long time no see. Oh, this is the kid that we found his rock. Ah, hey, it has been a while. Who's this? Remember that kid who was looking for the quartz shard in Roland, didn't you? Don't you? Remember, we took a request to find it a while back. Are you headed back to the Republic? Nah, the central factory. We made some cash in Gransel and have some shopping to do. Mom said we're gonna take this Mira and stock up on orbments. Said the eyes are the first to go, but she can still spawn a good deal. I can see you're still an obnoxious brat. What, I'm only saying what everyone else is thinking. But yeah, did you check out these crazy moving stairs? I'll never get tired of them. Indeed I have. We chilling. Alright. Okay. Let me see, what time is it? 2 hours in? Okay. That's actually pretty on schedule, I think. Takes me about an hour for each water cup, so I'm gonna go get some more water as usual. I will return shortly. Alright, I'm back. Alright, let's get back into this. Where's my controller? There it is. Alright, up we go. They're on 4th floor? Or 5th floor, one of the two. 5th floor. No, I meant maybe not 5th floor. Which floor is it? Fuck. Let me go down. Let me go down here. Tita, everyone, how are you? Professor is on his workshop on the 3rd floor. He seemed pretty impatient, like he was waiting on something or someone. There we go. 3rd floor. That was 4th floor. God damn it. Okay, there we go. Workshop. Bah, another failure. Grandpa, we came to see if we could help. Ah, hello, Tita. And you two are here as well, I see. What can I say? We were worried. So, what are you working on? Well, as you can see, I'm trying to cut into the black orbit. But it hasn't been going very well. What seems to be the problem? Perhaps a demonstration is in order. And click. Whoa, what's that thing? It's a circular saw. It's made of a special alloy that can cut through basically anything. That ought to do it then. It stopped. I thought that might happen. It's on a smaller scale, but it's the same phenomenon as yesterday. Seems like the black orbment is blocking the functionality of the other orbments, interfering with them in some way. And I doubt it was solely made for the purpose of killing the lights. Yeah, but Grandpa, doesn't the effect spread like it did last night? Yes, good thinking. This interference with nearby orbments seems to spread out, moving from orbment to orbment like chain lightning. I put the range at about 5 Arg. Okay, hold up, someone's knocking. Yep. Okay, I'm back. That was strange, but alright. Anyways, alright, back to this. But if there are no orbments powered on within that range, well, then that's where the effect stops. God damn it, I'm getting fucking another text saying, asking for help. Okay, I'll be back again. Apologies. Okay, I'm actually back now. Apologies for that. Alright. Back to where we were. So, I don't remember what the fucking last dialogue line was. Alright. I see, that makes sense. However, even with that knowledge, there's no way to know why it causes machines to simply stop without getting a look inside it. It's very troubling. Is there any way to destroy the thing? Maybe with a good scream and a really hard whack? Don't be ridiculous. Didn't you see the big saw do exactly nothing to it just a moment ago? Well, yeah. Anyone thought of trying fire? Maybe it would just melt down in a blast furnace or something. If we did that, it'd melt. The insides of it would melt too. Oh yeah. Well, it was worth a shot. Actually, it might work. Really? Know of a way to burn it open? No, that's not what I meant. Orbital power, that which drives orbits to work, can't be used for this problem. I have to find a way that doesn't rely on any orbital energy. Is there even such a thing? The combustion engine. It's a device that burns fuel to generate energy. The idea has been around for a long time, but it's very inefficient when compared to an orbital engine. However, all you need to work on them are standard tools. Huh, neat. I get it. Fire is the key. But, Grandpa, I've never even seen one of them. I'm pretty certain that there's one understudy in the Central Factory's workshop. Oh, you'll need to get fuel as well. Like oil or something? No, it's called gasoline. It's extremely flammable. It's likely a tank or canister of it stored in reserve. Yes, it should do the job. I'll start getting the tools ready. I'll help. Is there anything we can do? I mean, I can't do anything super technical like Cheetah can. Well, you can go and get the engine and gasoline. It's going to be heavy, but U-bracer should be strong enough to move it. Okay, leave it to us. So, where would we find these? Let's see. Don't tell me that you've forgotten. I have forgotten. He just said not to say that. Estelle, if you look in the operations room, you could possibly find them. What the heck is an operations room? It's a room with a bunch of orbital computers. It's on the 5th floor. Store all kinds of information there for safekeeping. Wow, I didn't even know there was such a place. Then I leave it in your capable hands. Making coffee, fetching stuff. Well played, old man. Well played. Oh well, let's go find this operations room thingy. To the 5th floor then. Indeed. Let's go. Okay, up we go. Wow, check out this place. Has to be the operations room. Hey, you two. I haven't seen you before, so you mind telling me what business you have in here? My name's Travis, Senior Engineer and Supervisor. Nice to meet you. We're with the Bracer Guild. We're here at the request of Professor Russell, so if... Professor Russell? He's not in trouble again, is he? Again? You really don't have much faith in him, do you? No, I mean, I realize that he's a genius. He was the one who developed the Capel unit after all. But even being acquainted with him results in no end of trouble. Tita, on the other hand, is an incredibly sweet girl, just an all-around good kid. I get what you mean, but I don't think we have time to stand around talking in this case. We need to find where the Central Factory stores its equipment. Oh, is this what that's all about? In that case, go right ahead. I'll show you how it works. This cylindrical device is a type of computer. It's called the Capel. These days, they mostly get used to assist in airship navigation. This one is equipped for the fastest general-purpose data processing in the world. It can be used for anything, from calculating material density to information retrieval. Now, for information retrieval, you have to use this front panel to select that mode. That will send the signal through that wiring and allow you to access the memory orbital. There's a quartz inside that trains a rapid light pulse on it, you see? Then it simply extracts the data you want. So I trust you know how it works now? No sweat. Yep, no sweat. I'm impressed, Estelle. You're way better with modern technology than I am. Okay, so I lied. That stuff went completely over my head. Well, here's the setup. Change the mode with this panel. I'm sure you'll figure it out in no time. Alright. Oh god. I just inhaled spit. That wasn't good. Oh god. Hey, sit for a sec. That was not pleasant. Okay. let's do this. Central Factory establishment. Let's get some more. 17 calendar 1154. Death of Professor C. Epstein in the sovereign state of Le Mans. 1155. Professor A. Russell returns to the liberal kingdom. He proposes the spread of orbment technology to a chilly reception. 1157. Professor Russell forms a partnership with the Zeiss Clockmakers Union. Together, they establish the Zeiss Engineering Factory, later renamed the Central Factory. 1160. Edgar III, after an inspection of the factory, donates a large amount of money to further its research. Professor Russell becomes the first factory chief. 1162. Edgar III dies, and Alicia II assumes the throne. 1164. Construction is completed on the Langland Bridge. 1168. The first orbital-powered airship, the Calatrava, is completed. 39 failed test flights before success was achieved. 1173. The Zeiss Engineering Factory is renamed Zeiss Central Factory and begins sharing technology with the Verne Company and Reinford Company. 1175. The Liberal Orbital Ship Corporation is established, and the transit commuter airship, the Lind, is commissioned. 1177. Transit commuter airship, the Cecilia, is commissioned. 1178. Factory airship, the Leibniz, is completed. 1180. The Zeiss Central Factory is dismantled and reconstructed at its current site. The partially underground factory in the Chaldia Hills is completed. 1182. Professor Russell resigns from his position as factory chief and is succeeded by Murdoch. 1185. Natural science and medical research divisions are formed. 1187. The passenger ship at Eterna sinks in Calvert waters. Crown Prince Judas dies. 1190. The Orbital Network, a joint venture with the Epstein Foundation, is publicly announced. Internet. 1192. Outbreak of the 100-Day War. Central Factory is taken by the Erebonian Army. Professor Russell develops patrol airships at Lieston Fortress, which are used to mount a highly effective counteroffensive, and soon become central to the Royal Army. 1193. The Berlin and Erebonia sign a peace accord. Ordnance exports to the Erebonian Empire resume. 1197. Version 1.0 of the Capel orbital computer is completed. 1199. Development commences on the high-speed cruiser, the Arcel. 1202. The Arcel is completed and flight tests commence. And that's about where we are now. Alright, Universal Tech, Ordnance. So much stuff to read. I forget how much reading there is here. Okay. Entry, Orbment, general term for devices that draw orbital energy from septine, invented 50 years ago by Professor C. Epstein. The clockwork mechanism inside causes a reaction between quartz, which in turn produces a variety of different phenomena. Their greatest advantages over combustion engines is that the orbital energy within them is gradually restored over time, and the variety of different phenomena they can produce. They are also much more economically efficient. Entry, crystal circuits, quartz. An electrical circuit with a crystalline structure made from processed septium fragments, sepith. They serve as an energy source but also cause varied phenomena, which are only seen when they are placed inside an orbit. Entry, septium. A grouping of 7 gemstones found throughout the continent. Prized as jewels for eons, it was also regarded as a symbol of mystery. The invention of technology to refine and process septium fragments, too small to use as jewels, called sepith, and make them into quartz, resulted in a massive increase in the importance of septium as a resource across the continent. Entry, orbital airships or orbital ships, commonly regarded as the crowning achievement of orbit technology. enables the power of flight by combining a flight engine to control gravity and an orbital engine to provide vast amounts of energy. Because of the need for high-efficiency orbital energy transfer and the complexity of controlling the airship, many modern orbital ships are equipped with highly capable orbital arithmetic logic units. Orbital ships less than 20 yards in length are simply called airships. Orbital weaponry. Any firearm or cannon powered with orbit technology. Currently the most common form of military weaponry among many nations with orbital firearms, energy is focused in a helical path along the barrel, down to a tiny point, and then forces a large metal projectile outward at high velocity. These guns can fire more rounds than traditional gunpowder arms and at adjustable levels of force. Orbital cannons, meanwhile, fire shells containing energy which explode on impact. Similar to orbital guns, these have less recoil than gunpowder using cannons, and their power can be similarly adjusted. Entry: tactical orbits. Orbits are used to manipulate orbital magics, usually no larger than a pocket watch, so its internal workings are extremely minute and elegantly constructed. When quartz designed for tactical orbit use is installed, it improves the abilities of its bearer. When this quartz synchronizes with the bearer, aka the resonance phenomenon, the internal mechanisms take over the otherwise complex process that would be required to use magic, allowing just about everyone to use it in the form of orbital arts. Furthermore, the arts the user is able to use can be changed depending on the combination of quartz inside. I actually didn't know that's the first place that the resonance phenomenon gets mentioned properly. Interesting. Alright, related topics. Entry: combustion engine. A machine which generates usable energy by burning fuel within, less efficient than its orbital counterpart due to issues with gaseous exhaust and noise pollution. Combustion engine, number owned 1, owner maintenance chief Gustav. Entry: gasoline, a liquid derived from the purification of a naturally occurring hydrocarbon compound known as petroleum, used primarily as fuel for combustion engines and as an industrial solvent. Public manufactured gasoline, and emergency source, 20 mid-sized tanks, repository, orbital manufacturing factory. A haulage vehicle. Orbital haulage vehicle, any wheeled vehicle powered by orbital energy, widely considered uncomfortable to ride and very limited in speed, primarily used for transporting cargo. Owner no data, repository underground factory entrance. Alright, looks like you found what you were looking for. Wow, it's like a magic box or something. Orbital computers are really something. As I understand it, Professor Russell's teacher, Professor Epstein, was responsible for the original concept. But it was Professor Russell's talent that made the idea into reality. If only his presence of mind were on par with his intelligence. Well, Ideas isn't one to bestow 2 blessings on one person. By the way, where can we find the guy who has one of those combustion engine thingies? Maintenance chief, right? Where is he? He's currently overseeing the airfield, so you'd have to go there to speak to him. Also, the gasoline is likely in orbital manufacturing in the basement. Talk to the staff there. I'm sure they'll be happy to get it for you. Maintenance chief Gustav is down at the airfield working on a combustion engine, and the gasoline is in the basement orbital manufacturing facility. Thanks, you've been a big help. Think nothing of it. Let me know if you need anything else. Alright, let's go. Probably won't be going for too much longer, but we'll see. Probably trying to hit it at least 3 hours. Alright. Hey, excuse me? What's that? May I help you? Estelle and Joshua explained the task set to them by Professor Russell. You need gasoline? I think we have a tank of it in the back in storage somewhere. I'll check for you. They use the intercom. Mrs. Faye, got a request down here. We still have that tank of calibrated gasoline there in the warehouse, right? Can you send some down? Yeah, enough to carry. Thanks. We're sending some down for you right now. Sending? Holy. There we are. Is this gasoline? So that's what sending is. Neat, isn't it? This conveyor belt system isn't just for ordering goods. It's an entire network that connects the whole facility. Convenient. Professor Russell invented it. Originally it was just a series of tubes for sending products back and forth. But the professor completely rebuilt the system into something a lot more useful. course, getting all the infrastructure in place was a gigantic pain in the... I can only imagine. We have to be on our way. Thank you for your help. No problem. I don't know what you're using it for, but be careful with that gasoline. It has a tendency to fireball. Alright, here we go. Alright, get down to the airfield. Gonna double check at the guild real quick too, just to be sure that there's no new requests. There is. Product testing. New sneaker model. Where's that at? 4th floor. Okay, let's get up there. Glad I checked. Finally managed to make a prototype. I've just been waiting for testers. All I can do in the meantime is some fine-tuning of the insole. Excuse me. We came because we saw your posting on the bulletin board. Ah, you're finally here. I was getting a little tired of waiting. My name's Terry. I'm a researcher here at the Central Factory. I'm Estelle, bracer in training. I'm Joshua. It's nice to meet you. Likewise. Getting straight to business, I have a task for you. Do your schedules allow for it? Sure, I don't see a problem with it. My request said you need help with testing a new style of sneaker. Could you give us a little more detail? Oh, certainly. But first, here. Received Alpha Strega. Is this your new kind of sneaker? Yes, the Strega Corporation is conducting research on new products to bring to the market. This particular test requires you to wear these prototypes around to various places. Upon successful completion of this test, all that will remain is to put them into production. I see. Hey, just a second there, buddy. Did you say the Strega Corporation? Yes. So then this new line of sneakers... Yes, it's the Strega Corporation's newest product. Didn't I just say all this? Oh, great Adios. Thank you for bestowing upon me, or us, this magnificent job. Are you alright? Why the sudden prayer? Don't mind her. I'm still something of a sneaker collector. More to the point, she pretty much adores the Strega brand ones. Oh, so you might say she has sneaker mania then. I was just a little taken aback by her reaction. Estelle, would you snap out of it? I get that you're excited, but we have work to do. Yes, you are correct. Well, you certainly have a spirit. A scary amount, in fact. So, will you do the test? Please don't pray at me again. Yes, absolutely. See what I mean? It's alright, please proceed. So, we'll take on the job. But you want us to wear these shoes everywhere we go? Yes, that's correct. From the Elmo Spot, to the Wolf Ford, all the way to the Sanctime Gate. And, well, when you feel you've tested them out properly, bring them back to me. The layer between the sole and insole is my responsibility, so I have to see how it holds up. You need us to report back when we have a chance. That at least. Now, see if you can wear them out. Just leave it to me. If you'll excuse us. Okay, so if I remember correctly, we have to just wear it once to every single area, if possible. So let me put them on. Despite the fact that they're going to be much worse than what we have right now. Let me double check, actually, because it'll say what all the different areas we need to take them to are. Let me see. What are we on right now? Black Orbit. Okay. Let me scroll up a bit. Where am I? Okay. Let's see. Boop. Am I dumb? I feel like I'm dumb. Product testing, there it is. Okay, so Wolf Fort, Elmo Village, Sanctime Gate, Leoston, and Arrowlet. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can do all that. So I think that's what we'll do. Probably just to finish things off. We'll finish off this quest and then we'll probably end off for the night. because I am pretty damn tired, honestly. I was hoping to go a bit longer, but... Ah, damn it. Never mind. We can't do that quite yet. Okay. Well, we can go to the other areas at least. Or at least go grab the gas engine. So we'll grab the gas engine and then we'll see if it opens up. Oh, that's not the right guy. Where is he? Hi, need a flight? The westbound airship just departed a few moments ago. No, thank you. We don't need an airship right now. Actually, we need to talk to Gustav, was it? Oh, you mean the maintenance chief? He's not here at the moment. What do you mean not here? He went to the Eston Fortress 2 or 3 days ago. Some kind of repair emergency on a military patrol ship. Eston Fortress? As in the largest base in the Royal Army out by Lake Valeria? From the north part of Zeiss? Wonderful. He won't be coming back from there anytime soon. So, what do we do about the professor's request? I don't know anything about that, but the chief is actually on his way back. He just sent word to us. Oh, hey, airship. Speak of the devil. An orange airship? Hold the phone. Since when did our public airships orange? No, that doesn't look like a regular public airship. The shape is wrong and it's got work arms all over it. Now that you mention it, that's a central factory vessel, the Lebanitz. It's the same model as the public transports, but it's had several modifications. It's used for large-scale maintenance and transport. Huh, a flying factory. Then the maintenance chief is on that airship? That's right. Now's your chance. You need to talk to him, no? We do. Thanks a lot. Yes, thank you. Let's go. Let's go. What do you want? The Leibniz has a mountain of parts stored in her. It's dangerous, so stand clear. Actually, we were looking for someone. Is there a maintenance chief by the name of Gustav on the ship? Oh, what do you want with me? Oh, well, that's convenient. Still explained that Professor Russell had asked them to find and borrow a combustion engine. Ah, you're running errands for Russell, are you? A combustion engine, huh? Well, you got good timing, I'll give you that. Huh? Hang on a sec. Does he actually have one packed onto the ship? Looks like it. There you go. It's heavy. It's a heavy beast, though, so be careful. Wow, you weren't kidding. We can still manage to carry it. You got some spirit to you for such a young girl. I like it. Thanks. It's a pretty interesting little coincidence. An old fart wants this thing right after I got it back from the military. Huh? From the military? Yeah, this thing was on loan to them for a little while. We're using it for some kind of research. As a matter of fact, I only just got it back today. Huh, lucky for us. Well, what's wrong? No, it's nothing. Now that we've got what we need, why don't we take it back to the professor? Sure thing. Thank you, Mr. Maintenance Chief. Sure. Give my regards to the old man. Alright. Let's go deliver these. We're back. And we brought what you asked for. Excellent. Thank you. You weren't kidding about how heavy this thing is. Yes, your brute strength was most useful, girl. Perfect timing, too, as I've just finished preparing the tools. All that's left is to set up the engine and put the gas in it. You'll go put on the final finishing touches, Tita. Yes, sir. And it's all set. Wow, this thing is really clunky looking. Are all these engines like this? Yeah. It converts the energy given by burning gas to power the tools. So this way, they don't need orbital energy. Indeed. Let's not dawdle and... let's not dawdle. Let me flip the switch. And click! Jeez, this thing sure makes a racket. Definitely a lot louder than orbital engines. That's one of its drawbacks, yes. But I doubt we'll need to fear activating the black hole mint this way. Let's get started. Ooh. Whoa. That's some serious sparkage. Okay, shut it down for now. We've seen how much physical punishment it can take and how much punishment our ears can take as well. So the others crowded around to get a closer look. A tiny scratch is faintly visible. That's it? That's incredible, and with the special alloy saw too. Whatever it's made of, it's tougher than anything I've ever seen. But if we keep at it, I believe this would work. We're going to go through quite a few saw blades, though. So it's going to be a real test of patience, then. Hey, Professor, can I talk to you for a sec? Oh, have you already finished the modifications? Of course I have. Remember who you're talking to. Anyways, what is it? Is something wrong? Received a message from the hotel in Elmo for you. The orbital-powered pump that supplies the hot water for their spa is broken down. Since they can't make any money like this, they'd like for you to come and try to fix it. Ah, you must be kidding. Damn it, of all the times for this to happen. If you're that busy, why don't you send another engineer over? Oh, that pile of junk is at least 40 years old. The younger techs have no idea what to do with anything that's not state of the art. Ah, what a pain in the... Grandpa? Maybe I could go over and do the repairs, you think? Hmm? Tita? You took me there to help with maintenance before. I think it'll be fine if I just go. I'm sure you do fine on the repair jobs, but that's not what concerns me. Agreed, there are monsters out on the roads. But we can't just leave Miss Mao like this. If that's the problem, why don't you let us handle this? Huh? It's a bracer's duty to ensure the safety of the borough's roadways. Therefore, seeing that Tita arrives at her destination safely is our responsibility. Well, that's another story if you're... that's another story. If you're all with her, then we don't need to worry. Alright then, thank you. Are you sure this will be okay? Don't worry about it. Kids shouldn't sweat the details so much. If you're ready, then let's go. Thank you, both of you. Okay, Grandpa and Mr. Murdoch. We'll be back soon. Take care, dear. Be careful out there. Okay, now we can go. We can go explore. Basement. Go to Airletton first. Just run down the tunnel. Go. And that should have gotten that. So we just literally had to walk in there for a sec, and that would be good enough. Alright, back we go. I'll head to Liestan, and Sankdime. And then we'll go down from there to Wolfort and others. Okay, there we go. So, Elmo sounds kind of fun. There's a hot spring there, right? Right, it's a real nice place. My grandpa's taken me there a few times. Well then, let's set out. We go to the just go to the south entrance, right? Right, then follow along the south road to get there. Okay, let's get going. Okay, this way first. And that's a chest. Came back, I knew you would. You sure about that? Alright, up we go. It's empty. Diabolical. Wow. It's empty. Heinous. Oh no. It's just getting worse and worse. It's empty. Outrageous. Oh my god. Can't believe it. Double dipping is against the rules, damn. Feels bad. Okay. So we just have to bring it up here. That should be good enough. We'll walk around a bit. And we turn around. There we go. I gotta go this way. Just do one big loop, and then we can go. And now we just gotta go south. Alright, there we go. This way, and we find our way to Wolf Fort, which is that way. We can go to Elmo last, since that's where we'll end up. I want to get all these cleared up ASAP. There we go. This is right on the border of Calvert. He's sleeping. He's crying in his sleep. Faye, forgive me. Huh? Did I just say that out loud? Yeah, you were shouting at the top of your lungs and crying gently. Faye, forgive me. Crap, I even said her name. Faye? Why does that name ring a bell? Faye. Maybe it's the girl in the factory basement? Oh yeah, the girl who got the gas tank for us. That was it, blue collar type. Wait, you know my Faye? Yeah, she helped us finish up an assignment earlier. Bracers. Bracers? That's perfect. Huh? Do you have a request for us? Yes, it's just a personal errand, but I want you to do a job for me. Would now be a good time? Well, we'll help if we can. But first, I want to know what it is you want us to do. Right. I want you to deliver a letter to Faye for me. She and I were seeing each other, but we kind of hit a rough patch and we ended up breaking up recently. But I want to make it up to her, and that's why I wrote the letter. Could I persuade you to deliver the letter to her, just whenever your work takes you to Zeiss? Sure. Shouldn't be a big deal. What do you think, Joshua? Fine by me. We're not in any rush, so sure. Really? That's great. I have it right here. Please take care of it. Of course we will. But stirring a woman's emotions with a letter can be kind of tough. Huh? Is that true? Really? I really don't think it's our place to offer advice on this, Estelle. No, don't worry about it. It's good to get a female perspective sometimes. So, a letter alone won't do it, huh? Probably not. Oh, I know. How about some kind of gift? Great idea, but I didn't get anything for to give her. Damn it, I can't just go shopping while I'm on duty. That's true. I hate to ask, but could I also get you to pick something out to go along with the letter? Huh? You want us to go gift shopping for you? Right, you can buy something in Zeiss. Get the gift and deliver it to her along with the letter. Well, I don't have a problem with it, but this is kind of a big responsibility. I'm sure you're up to the task. Faye's usually in her work clothes, working with all that loud machinery. I really want to get her something cute that'll speak to her feminine side. Something cute? Like a stuffed animal? I think that would be kind of babyish for her. Okay, something cute. I'll go ahead and give you some money to cover the costs. It's not much, I know, but please get something for her. Will do. So we'll accept your request, but just buying a gift in Zeiss? Are you sure you want to leave it up to us? Yes, I think it'll work out. Thank you for this, really. Alright, I actually didn't realize that was there, because I wasn't looking at the guide for that. To know that was there, but that's good to know. Regardless, we're gonna head down to Elma for now. Actually, you know, let's go back to Roland, or not Roland, fucking Roland, what? Let's go back to Zeiss, because I want to check the request board one more time, because there actually might have been some new stuff that popped up after we left. Alright, after, yeah. Well, when we were able to leave, but I just didn't check. Yeah, sure enough. Okay, you know what? That might be a good point right there then, because it's just about that time anyways. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. I think that's probably a good point then. So we got all that stuff to do. So we can start off doing side quests tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Next time we play this. And then figure things out from there. I think that works out perfectly. We're 20 hours in-ish. No, we're 16 hours in. Almost 17. Which isn't that bad. Like, at this rate, we'll probably be done before, like, even 30 hours. Which means we cut a solid, like, 10 hours off our playtime. Who knows? We'll see. But, yeah, anyways. Let me go ahead and close out. Go ahead and put some music on. Let me see. Is anyone live right now? I just accidentally closed my chat. Nice. Whoops. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, there we go. Let me see. Is anyone live right now? Yeah, no. I'm probably just gonna end up then. Just thinking about maybe tossing a host on over to someone, but yeah, there's not really much of anyone live right now. Alright, in that case, that'll be it for me for tonight. I'm probably gonna fucking sleep early, because I am exhausted. But yeah, I appreciate everyone stopping by, as usual. I fucking love this game, so it's always fun to stream it. But yeah, I might try and stream some 14 tomorrow. We'll see. I want to try too, because I want to get through some more story on that. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, yeah, that'll be it for me. Have yourselves a good night, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.